Hello and welcome back as we break down Line of Duty Season 6, Episode 5. This episode revealed so much about police corruption and got us one step closer to H, and obviously ended in an explosive cliffhanger with the face-off between Kate and Ryan. Oh my god, those last moments, like, what did you think? Who's dead, who's alive?
This show needs to come with a health warning because my blood pressure just hasn't recovered. I audibly screamed. I was so on the edge in that moment.
The beginning of the episode followed on from the cliffhanger of episode 4, where we found out that Joe Davidson is a family relation to Tommy Hunter. Obviously raises a lot of eyebrows in AC-12.
I think it definitely makes her vulnerable, because even if you know, she wants to join the police with the most honest intentions, if she has that connection, that family tie, then it makes her vulnerable to blackmail.
Who do we think is misspelling definitely behind that chat? It's the big clue. It's the fourth man. It's H. Do bear with us, because at the end of this video we're going to be doing all the theories. One of my big suspicions is that Patricia Carmichael, who has come back in and is mixing things up, is in league with everyone. I do not trust that woman. It's like maybe she is the one that's telling telling Joe to get the job done with Kate, because I can't believe it would be Ted.
Sure we can all work together nicely.
I don't want to believe it. And also, I think that actually would make a lot of sense, because if she knows about the Gale murder case, Operation Lighthouse, and she knows that AC-12 is still investigating, then that actually is a pretty good shout. It could be, you know, she's in the know about everything.
The new chief constable, who's Philip Osborne, and that he's involved in the murder of Lawrence Christopher. And that is what Gail Vella was looking into, which brings us to a new, very exciting, famous character. Basically, they were all involved with the murder of Lawrence Christopher, and that sort of led them to looking out for each other. And basically, we're thinking that this is the center of who H is. Like, this is going to be totally... They're so close to finding out the identity of H now.
The OCG was running, like, even earlier than any of us thought, you know, back in 2002, 2003, whenever Lawrence Christopher was murdered in police custody, because one of the people we then found out that was then received a new identity was Tommy Hunter's son.
So we have been loving all of your comments on YouTube and on social media about your biggest theories into Line of Duty, basically. So we wanted to talk about some of them. First and foremost being, is Chloe Bishop to be trusted?
I personally don't think she is a bent copper. I don't know if I'm ignoring the signs. I can't help but think that she is an honest DS that, you know, is looking, you know, she was quite, you know, visibly affected by the case that they were looking into, as anyone would and should be. I think it must be always difficult for a new person to come in, because it happens every season. The newest person comes in, you think, oh, you're dodgy. But actually, I kind of think that Chloe's probably a good egg. I reckon anyway.
Do you think she's Tony Gates' daughter?
Yeah, there's been so much of that, hasn't there? I mean, I think it's quite an interesting theory, and I think it would be quite a cool link back to the earlier series. Looking back at Tony's case, you know, he was essentially blackmailed. He wasn't trying to cover up, well, obviously trying to cover up Jackie Laverty's crime, but he didn't know her involvement with the OCG, and he wasn't trying to cover up police corruption in the way that we think about it now. He was essentially a victim of the OCG himself. So I'm not sure that's enough to convince me, really.
What about Chris in MIT? Is there something a bit off about him?
Yeah, I have to say I'm more suspicious of him than I am Chloe, I reckon. I think there was the bit where Kate asked them all to hand in their phones, and he just really protested against it. And I just can't help but think, well, you're, you know, a senior detective, you know that there's been leaks from your team about a really important operation. Would you not kind of be quite willing to hand in your phone? You're only going to not have it for the rest of the day, you know. And a lot of people have been saying as well that he's very similar in character to Doc as well.
Yeah. Carry round too.
Exactly.
Yeah, kind of look alike. We've got to talk about Ted, because it's, I mean, we knew it anyway, but Steve got it confirmed that the 50 grand that Steph has is money from the OCG that Ted gave her, and now the motive, according to Lee Banks, is because Ted told Lee, when we saw him visit him in prison, that there was a rat in their OCG, and they obviously worked out it was John Corbett, and then obviously the guilt meant that Ted gave his widow the money. But it's like, have we got the wrong end of the stick somehow? Is it like, because it's just like, is Ted bent? Is he a bent copper?
I agree with you. I think we've probably got the wrong end of the stick. And I think also people need to remember that in series 5, John Corbett, I mean, John and Ted have many personal issues between each other that I think is more of the driving force behind both of their actions than really the OCG and covering up police corruption. I think they just had a vendetta against each other for various reasons, you know, because obviously they both grew up, I think it was in Belfast, wasn't it? Their connections went back to Belfast. Maybe there was more to it in there, but I think it's just because I just love Ted so much. I just don't want him to be the main guy. It'll just break my heart.
It's not good behaviour from Ted.
No,
so,
exactly.
Who is H to you right now? Who's H?
I really genuinely don't know. I think Osborne's a really good potential candidate for it, because as we know, he was there since the beginning. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be someone new, because I think people would want it to stem back further.
Yeah, well, maybe we will get some answers next week for episode 6. Thank you so much for joining us. Please feel free to comment below all of your theories, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.